Hey guys, Evans with Z111 here today, bringing you a video on Warframe since they recently added a new augment for Nekros. This augment is an interesting one, definitely I'd say one of the ones with the most potential that I've seen so far. And it is Shield of Shadows, there we go. So basically, every time I use Shadows of the Dead, any shadows I spawn within 50 meters of me have, or 6% of damage I take goes to them instead. So basically it's a way of damage mitigation. That means Nekros will be taking less damage and the damage will be redirected to his shadows. So potentially, I think that could work out really well, and I think it could mean that Nekros is, I don't know, tanky Nekros is going to be viable. So I'm going to take this to Excavation on Neptune, and I'll show you guys how effective it can be. So I'm now on Neptune trying to excavate these things, and I think I've killed enough enemies to get a decent Shadows of the Dead off. So I'll go up here, and in fact no, there's more enemies down here. I'll go down here and do Shadows of the Dead, and as you can see I will have a line connected to each of the spawns, or each of the shadows, when I spawn them. So now if I go onto, well yeah, the enemies are hitting me for like roughly 5 damage. So that's a, say if I have 5 shadows that I'm connected to, I'm actually have to go and help this guy out. Say if there's 5 shadows I'm connected to, that means I'll be doing a 30% shadow or damage reduction, and if I'm connected to 10 shadows, that means a 60% damage reduction, which isn't incredible, but as you can see the range is actually pretty good. Even though I'm going far away from the clones, I am still staying connected to them. So if you are wanting to play a more tanky Nekros, which to be honest isn't a well-known thing, then I could see this being a good augment. It's say if you're actually trying to play Nekros just in any other build that's not just spam Desecrate, then again it could be useful because the damage reduction is really good. Nekros, from my experience, is pretty squishy compared to some of the other frames. He doesn't have any pure damage reduction abilities, and this has given him that ability in Shadows of the Dead, which is, to be honest, one of his best abilities other than Desecrate. So I can see this being useful because let's actually double check my stats and see how many shadows I can spawn at max. Enemies affected 7, so I can spawn 7 enemies, which means I will be getting a 42% damage reduction every time I cast it, which basically means I'm going to be taking just around half the damage I normally would. Obviously the enemies are also going to be shooting at the Shadows of the Dead, which means less of the enemies are going to be shooting at me, which means even more damage reduction. It basically turns Shadows of the Dead into a very defensive ability, but if you want my honest opinion, I wouldn't say that this augment is worth it. I think Nekros is usually played as a Desecrate spammy character, and if you ever use Shadows of the Dead, it is simply to ensure that the enemies are attacking other things other than you and your allies. So whilst this does buff Shadows of the Dead, I don't feel as though it's worth the 9 energy it costs to put in your Warframe. It is a, like all other augments, it is available through your syndicates. It's available through the Red Veil and the other one that, not Steel Meridian, but the other one that's allies with Red Veil. Sorry to not be able to name that to hand, I'll probably have it annotated on screen now. Yeah, this ability isn't really blowing me away. It's a cool idea, and to be honest, I think it might need a buff if they want to make it truly effective. Because if you want to make a tanky Nekros, why not give him like an Iron Skin-like ability? Why not give it 100% damage reduction whilst for the duration that the shadows are alive? Because also, whilst you have this ability active with this augment, it essentially means that your shadows are going to be dying faster, which isn't something we want, because that's going to reduce your damage reduction, and it means the enemies will have less targets to shoot at. So, if you want my opinion, my harsh opinion, it's worth a try. Give it a chance if you have a syndicate that offers it, but otherwise, I don't think you're going to see this very often. It's a cool idea, but it's gimmicky, I think. So yeah, this has been me, Evans with Z111. Please leave a rating if you enjoyed the video, and this is me out.